It's been a very busy week with the huge workshop cleanup series I've got going on. I still need to do at least something out of the emergency storage shed this week. So it's late Thursday, I've got to commit to it. So I'll try and get one done tonight. We might get it up over the weekend. So it's a little bit later than normal, but we're still doing it. Let's go and have a look. It's starting to get a little bit dark, but we can still see here. Now, a lot of you have mentioned with the big workshop clean out I'm doing now, it's good that I've made a bit of space in this shed because I can then refill it. No, but there is a couple of, well, there are a couple of items there. There's one small pedestal drill that I'm going to keep out of this shed, and it's been raining today and I just put it in here so it didn't get wet. And there's one crate full of brass. There's 25 kilos of brass there. So I don't see a problem with stacking some neat crates full of finished processed scrap metal just against this wall for now until I can do a trip. Hey, it's my channel, I'll do what I like. But I did say I'm not going to use this emergency store shed for storing more boxes of assorted rubble, and I'm definitely not going to do that because I want to turn it into an extension of my normal workshop. And clearly it's not functional at the moment. And I have now a lathe, a large pedestal drill, much bigger than that one. I also have a bandsaw and a huge long 15-foot steel bench, and I want to put all that in here and have this as a functional workshop. So there we go. To answer your questions, no, I'm not going to refill this shed and we'll have to restart over the clean out of the emergency storage shed. It was an emergency storage for when I moved the shop from my old shop. It's not going to be an emergency storage shed for other deals. As you may have seen in the other series, the carport is suffering a bit. That's another story. Anyway, today we've got to get something out of here. That toolbox was a carryover from last week, so we'll look in that. I think there are some tools in there. The crate there looks to have some airline hose there. Should be pretty easy. I don't know if there's anything else in there. And there's a box underneath with, looks like metal of some sort. Could be tools, could be scrap pieces, not sure. Let's try and do those three today, and we'll be opening up a little bit more of this shed. Okay, we'll get through these ones first, and then we'll go and get the other box. The other one actually looks like it's going to be pretty heavy, and I've been carrying things all week, so I'm just about ready for a rest, I'll tell you. We'll go through the toolbox first. Actually, no, we'll go through the other crate first, because there's not much in here, which is good. A quick job. We have an old scissor jack, scissor style car jack. It's possibly a Ford one, but a lot of the cars from the 70s had these. I'm not sure if it's branded or marked. Possibly we could find out from some numbers on it. I can't actually see any stampings on it. But these sort of ones can sell quite well if we can identify what it is. It could well get some reasonable money, because the guys that do up cars love to have the original accessories with them. So we'll have to check that a little bit. It's a bit dirty, but I'm not going to go to too much trouble with it. We might just wipe it over with a rag, see if I can find any identification, and we'll check that out on eBay perhaps. If I can't find anything, I'm going to say $10. Now the rest of this box is just purely some airline hose. I think it either came out of someone's shed, or if it's one I used to have years ago in a workshop. So I am going to run some airlines around my workshop when I eventually get it all set up properly. So I think this is still okay. It's not overly hard. So I will store this until such time that I may use it, because I do need to run some airlines around the workshop. And guess what? We've finished one crate. That didn't take long at all. But there could be some good tools in that toolbox, so let's do that next. So let's open the box. And, oh, nothing. I'm sure there's something in the bottom because it's heavy. So nothing in the top tray. It's quite a neat toolbox. Okay, not very much at all, but useful stuff. We have a Barco shifter, well, adjustable wrench. We call them shifters in Australia for some reason. I guess because they shift things. This one, oh, it works okay. A little bit bruised around the jaws, but be a pretty good quality one. And I would imagine I would easily get $20, $25 for that in the shop, I think. Doesn't appear to have too much wear in the jaw. I've got plenty around here, but I may indeed keep a good one like this. And I might cull one of the cheap ones I've got, or one that has a bit of extra slop in the the jaw. This one's pretty good. So nice piece. Now let's make a decision. Let's sell it. I'll put $25 on that in the shop. I have got plenty here. Now we have some rusty old ring spanners. That's a Sid Chrome Australian made ring spanner. I think these were my original toolkit, you know. That's another Australian made Sid Chrome. That's a nice looking spanner. King Chrome. So that's a good one. 12mm, 13mm double-ended ring spanner. I'll probably keep that one for sure. I don't think I need to keep rusty tools, and if you've been following my channel, you know I've just done a great big huge workshop clean out. I'm spoilt for tools at the moment, so I'm going to pick out the best ones. This is one that I did have back when I was a mechanic. I've even got the A stamped on it. So yeah, I'd rather than have bits and pieces, I'd rather get some complete sets. I do have some other King Chrome ones, so that's pretty good. Another rusty old one. That's a 19mm. I don't know why they went rusty. Probably sitting in that shed behind my old shop. I got a lot of damp air in there. So, yep. All right, well, I think we'll sell all these. I might just give them a quick buff up on the wire wheel. I'm not going to go to very much trouble, but some of that rust will clean up and look a lot better. And we might price these at something like, well, I'm keeping the shiny one there. We might price these other ones at, say, $5 each. And maybe only $3 each for those ones. They are good Sid Chrome ones, but they're pretty rusty. So we'll clean them up, and I'll just make a note of those on the notepad. Just a little clip, paper clip of some sort. No real value there. And some gardening pruners or secateurs. Yeah, they just need a drop of oil there. They feel all right. Might have a bit of spray of WD-40 there. We'll put them in Christine's gardening drawer because she does use these. It looks like the actual locking mechanism's gone. But they've got a nice action. So we'll use those. No real value. And the little toolbox with a tray. I might actually keep here because I am going to have to sort out a lot of tools. I'm going to have some Whitworth tools as well, I noticed in the recent shed I've done. So it's nice to have a toolbox dedicated to certain sizings or something. So that's a good solid little toolbox, that one. So if I was to sell it, I'd probably only put $10 to $15 on it. But I think that'll be more useful here. So I'll get a price on those spanners soon. Let's get the other big box. And I think there's some cool stuff in that other box. Okay, well, we have tools. We have lots of weight. What have I let myself in for here? This might take a bit. Hopefully we've got some good value. There we go. You can see what's in there. A real mixed assortment of shed tools. All right, let's go through it. Well, we have a Burco soldering iron. These are great old irons. The cord's not good. The original cord has got a nice ring grip Bakelite plug on it. Original plug it would be. That is worth putting a new cord on. These soldering irons are fantastic for doing a bit of panel work. Any job where you need to get a bit of extra heat in, they really do provide good heat. Nice big chunky copper tip on it. It does need a new cord. I could probably sell it as it is and someone else can do that. I think what I'll do is I'll chop the lead off just back a few inches and I'll just probably sell it through the shop for $10. That way I don't have to do anything to it. I don't have time to start putting new cords on things now. If I had it all cleaned up and a new cord on it, I would probably be looking for $30 or $40. But I'm just going to chop the cord off so that no one can plug it in. That way I also get my $5 for my nice ring grip plug. And I don't have to spend any time on it. So I will just clean the handle up. But that's what we'll do with that. And we'll get $10 for it. Okay, we have a 1/2-inch socket speed brace, very rusty. I see some other sockets in here, so we might make up a set of old sockets and bits and pieces. Quite a nice little hammer here. I guess it's a panel beater's hammer. It hasn't got a claw on the back where you'd expect to see one if it was a carpenter's hammer. Nice flat head. Really good handle, although it appears to be twisted. The handle appears to be offset. I don't know. Well, someone's put a handle in and hasn't done a very good job. So I'm wondering if we can... Oh yeah, it's loose. Alright, so what I might do is I might just file that down a little bit. We'll hammer it through so it fits better. We'll have the hammer handle straight to the head, and that's a pretty cool old hammer. We'll get $10 for that, and it'll only take me a couple of minutes to fix the handle. Okay, we have some of these old soldering irons. These are the sort that you would rest on a kerosene pressure torch and heat up. They sell quite well. I usually just buff the copper ends up because they look really nice when the copper's polished up a little bit. But that's about all I'm going to do. I'm not going to go to much trouble. We'll probably get $10 each. Maybe not quite. I think I have a few in the shop at the moment. Look, we'll probably just put $5 each. We'll sell them quick. Unless they've got any branding. Oh, that one has got branding. So I think we'll get $10 for that. We'll clean it up. And that one probably be $5. So I've got a bit of cleaning to do here by the looks of it. We have some assorted files. I do have a box of assorted files in the shop at the moment. I will just add those to the box. A rusty old spanner. I usually, unless they're a really good brand, I usually don't worry about cleaning them up. It's made in England. Yeah, super chrome. I think I can just put that in the $1 box. I have a box at the shop for spanners for $1. A nice old cold chisel, but I'll just put that in the $1 box too. Here's a ring spanner that is a German one, Matador. That'll be worth buffing up. We may get $5 for that one if it cleans up well. A turnbuckle, which is really good for tensioning up fencing wire and that sort of stuff, or a cable. I usually have some of those in the shop as well, but I don't think there's any others in here. Yeah, we'll put 5 on that. I think if you go to a hardware and buy a turnbuckle, they're not cheap. I think you'd probably pay at least 10 for one that size. We'll put 5 on it, but if I find another one, I'll put them together. It makes it more likely to sell. Here's a fairly decent masonry drill. You can always pick the masonry drill bits because they've got like tungsten tip pieces on the end, or it looks like one piece right across. So that's actually, you're getting a focus there. So the cutter is a special hardened piece of steel, for those of you who don't know, designed to drill through brick or concrete. That's a pretty good one. I don't think that's been used. It's clearly rusty. But again, I'll probably have I like to do a lot of box lots at the shop. We'll probably have a group of drill bits and just include that one with it. An oil filter wrench, again, just in the $1 box. I have a lot of people shop at my shop, and sometimes I'll get 10 different items out of the $1 box. So there's $10 for me, and they're happy. That's a lawnmower spark plug tool. Usually when they're unbranded, I just put them in the $1 box. Some of them do say Victor, being an Australian brand lawnmower, and I get a bit more for those. I'll put 5 on it then. That's also a spark plug spanner of something, I think, or maybe not. Yeah, I think it is. Multiple sizes. But again, just a $1 box on that. Oh, we have another soldering iron here, so I will buff those up and see if there's any branding on it. A Sid Chrome Ratchet half inch drive. The ratchet feels very worn. These ratchets actually do bring pretty good money, and I will buff this up, but I don't think it's going to bring very much because it's quite worn in the ratchet. There's a chance that it may even slip. The ratchet appears to work. Let's go the other way. Yeah, I think it's likely to slip. It seems very worn. I'll give it a quick buff up. I'm probably only going to put $5 on that because it's so worn. But in good condition, these can bring pretty good money. I'll check eBay and let you know on that. But that one's not in very good condition. All right, some more little $1 spanners here. That's a screwdriver fitting. Usually there's a handle and you have a few bits to go in it. Standard screwdriver. They can be all in the $1 box. We have, interesting, it looks like a nice old turned timber chisel handle. And the neck of the chisel, and someone has brazed or bronzed a hacksaw blade to the end and made a scraper. Interesting. I hope the chisel was broken and they didn't purposely cut it off, because it would have been a nice chisel. Pretty cool old tool all the same, but I'm just probably still going to put that in the $1 box. Okay, S-hooks we do use at the shop for hang things off ladders. An English spanner. It's a tappet adjusting spanner. I think that's worth cleaning up and getting 5 for, that one. English make. We have a little thread cutting tap tool. I guess it's branded Stewart. So that will probably be worth me hanging on to here. Don't think I've actually got one of those. A really wide socket chisel blade, but unfortunately someone's been chiseling on the metal. It's supposed to have a nice handle, a bit similar to that one, with a taper that actually taps into the socket part, and that would have been an excellent chisel, but that's all been flared out. I guess it could be fixed. Someone could clean it up. It is branded, but the actual chisel part is very rounded. It's been used and abused. Still, it'll be nice. It'd be really good quality steel. I'm just going to put that in the $1 box. Guaranteed someone's going to grab it, probably find a nice handle for it, clean it up, sharpen it, and it's probably a $30 chisel then. But that's all right. I'm happy for people to get bargains at my shop. Another little hook. We have a round rasp. It has a boring type finish on the end, so you can bore your way through a piece of timber and then rasp the hole out to a larger size. So that's, yeah, they're handy things. I've actually got one of those somewhere and I have used it numerous times. We might put $5 on that. I reckon we'd get that. A tiny soldering iron this time. We might put 5 on that. We'll group it with the other soldering irons. Another cold chisel for the $1 box. A scraper for the $1 box. A steel bracket that's not really much better than scrap metal. They can just go in the scrap bin. In fact, I've got way too many brackets at the moment. I don't think I need to keep any. I'm not sure. That's some sort of depth gauge. I'll clean that up. I can see it has got some writing on it. And some very fine measuring marks. So I'll clean that one up. A nice Sidchrome 1/2 inch open-ender ring spanner in pretty good condition. I'll give that a quick clean up. It's slightly bent, but I think we'll be able to straighten that all right. And being not rusty, we should be able to get $5 for that. We have a radiator cap with a valve in the top and the flexible tube from a bicycle pump attached to that. And I guess that's for pressure testing a radiator, so that you can put this cap on and you can get a pump and actually pump pressure into your car's water system and the radiator, obviously, to pressure test to see if it's got any leaks. I presume someone's made that up to do the job, unless you could actually buy one specially for it. Yeah, I think that's just a normal radiator cap and someone's made this up. Anyway, I suspect that will still work, so I'm going to put $5 on that. Here we have some side cutters, very rusty, but they're not seized, and just looking at the blades through the light here, there's no bad chunks out of them either, so we'll clean those up a little bit. I don't know if they're branded English or Sweden or something, they'll sell quite well. If they're just a made in China set, they probably won't sell all that well at all. I'll clean them up and check a mark. Another drill bit. I have a box for those. That's unusual. I wonder if that's actually for holding a thread cutting tap as well. That's a bit different to ones I've seen, but it looks like you could put a thread cutting tap in there and clamp it up. That is actually got some brands on it or mark on it. I'll clean that up as well. It may be something I'll hang on to here for now, given that I've got a lot of thread cutting taps and dies in a recent set, and I want to have a good set here. That might well be handy. If not, if I decide to sell it down the track, it's going to be at least $5, and probably the same with that one. A broken little points file. In fact, it's been sharpened down to be a little scraper. Just scrap metal for that one. A good punch, a nice straight punch that hasn't been bent or abused. It is a bit rusty, but I have a box of punches here. It's really important when you're punching out a rivet or something to have exactly the right size. If your punch is too thin, you will actually bend the punch, and sometimes it will flare out the end of the rivet because it doesn't impact the entire rivet. And of course, if your punch is too big, it won't even fit through the hole you're trying to punch something through. So I'll keep that. It's a good one. Garden hose sprayer. I do have a whole box of garden hose fittings at the shop. I'll just add that to it. A cute little spanner here, but very rusty, so just in the $1 box. Oh, a nail file. Excuse me, I'll do my nails. The handles had it, so that can probably go in the shred steel. Okay, we have a car jack, an older style car jack. I don't have the drive thing for it, and it's a 2-stage or maybe a 3-stage screw out car jack. It's worth cleaning up. I'll get at least $10 for that, just purely as a automotive ornament. I have no idea what it suits, and I'm not about to try and research it, but I think we'll just put that in the shop for $10. I won't even clean it up very much. It kind of looks good how it is. Okay, we have a piece of broken glass, clearly rubbish, and a box full of drill bits, and a chuck key. Well, I find a lot of chuck keys in my travels, and I usually just put them in a box at the shop for $1 each, and I actually sell quite a lot of them. The drill bits can sell as $5 the lot, and we can put that other larger one in there too. I will just clean out the tin before I put it in the shop. There has been, looks like there's been rats through here. Probably when it was at the back of my old shop rather than here. I don't think I've got any here. So we'll clean that out. We'll get $5 for the drill bits and $1 for the chuck, or the chuck key. We have a box here that's full of something. We'll open that in a second. This, oh, it's a nice old ice cream tin. I don't have the lid for it, unfortunately. So we have a file handle, which can probably go with the files. We have a little center punch, which I'll put with my punches, and a range of sockets, all pretty rusty, and a doorknob. So I think I'll make a group of sockets. There's some of them are Sid chrome. There's some good sockets in here, but they're quite old and quite rusty. That's a nice Sid chrome 1 1/8 inch socket. I will check my socket set to see if I need to keep a couple of the larger ones, but the rest of them can go in the shop, probably with the speed brace, and maybe $10 a lot. There's some good quality stuff in here. They're not cheap made in China ones. Most of the ones I can see are Sid chrome, and they will clean up quite well. I just don't have time to do it. $10 a lot, someone will get a bargain. Okay, we have, oh, some little calipers. Barely read anything on them. I will polish those up and we'll have a better look. And let's get this drawer out of here. It's an old drawer from a cupboard. We'll have a look in this tin. Let's do it here. Oh, well, all sorts of bits and pieces. Given that this video has gone too long and I don't have a lot of time, I'm going to carry this box. Well, it's a chocolates tin, I think. I'm going to carry this one over to next week's unboxings. I'll clean up a few tools. I'll get back to you with the notepad. This was only going to be a quick video, but as usual, I've talked too much. Time to wrap up here. I've cleaned some things up. I've organised it to show you what we've got and a few points of interest. Pretty well everything as discussed. Generally, I did go for 5 on the drill because I don't think it's been used and they'd be expensive to buy new. Things cleaned up quite well. You can see there are some brands on the copper heads of the soldering irons. So I think I went 10 and 10, and that one's pretty rough, and the smaller one 5. Those spanners buffed up okay. I didn't touch the rusty ones. The jack I did a bit of checking on. Some of the jacks sell for good money, and I did see a Holden one that made $150 with multiple bids, but it had a different top on it. I'm not sure what it suits. There's no branding on it. We're just going to put $10 there. I upped the drills, I think, to $10 for the box lot. There's actually a lot of good drills in there, and they're older ones. They won't be cheap steel. The pieces I'm keeping, I did pull out some other sockets. These three are actually Sidchrome Whitworth sockets, which are really handy if you're working on old English stuff. So there's 3 Whitworth sockets here. I'm sure I don't have some of those sizes, so they'll be added to my toolkit. I did find a little reamer in with the drill bit, so I'll keep that. This one is a depth gauge. It's branded Moore and Wright, which were quite a well-known quality English machinists company, and that's in pretty good condition. I'll keep that for now, but that would be probably worth about $20 if I wanted to sell it. I cleaned this one up as well, but there's no brands on it, but I'll hang on to that for now. If I wanted to sell it, maybe 10. The side cutters didn't have any brands on them, but they cleaned up quite well, so just 5 there. I fixed the hammer up. It looks much better now, so that was worth doing. And I did check the price on these Sidchrome ratchets. They don't sell for as much as I think they used to, but I did see a few in good condition on eBay actually sell for $30 or $40 plus postage. So $5 is going to be snapped up there, and you could probably replace the ratchet part anyway. So anyway, where's the notepad? So as discussed, there are our prices, and we ended up with a total of $205, and that's not including the pieces I'm keeping. I haven't even included all the $1 stuff, which will generate me at least $10 to $15 through the shop. I'm also keeping the toolbox. So not a bad little haul out of really just one box, because there wasn't much in the other ones. Oh, the Barco shifter was $25. And then, of course, the big one just had the airline in it, the air hose. Oh, I almost forgot. These calipers, the brass calipers, I cleaned them up. And have a look at this. Don't they look magnificent? They were a bit seized. I've managed to free them up. They work quite nicely. If I can do this one-handed, there we go. They slide quite easily. And I think they're a promotional item, because on the back it has stamped, not very well, but it has stamped Ferodo, which made brake linings, and it actually says use Ferodo linings. So it's a promotional item, but still a practical, quite a good quality set of brass vernier calipers. Measures in imperial and inches. So really nice, those items. I didn't find any online. I could possibly eBay them. I just put $20 on them. I think I'll just happily take $20 in the shop for them. But they're kind of nice. Nice little find. And that was right in the bottom of the box. So that completes another episode of the Emergency Storage Shed Clean Out Unboxing series. We got another video in this week, only just. Brings our total from what we're selling out of that storage shed to $4,895, just short of $5,000. And as I said, this doesn't include the stuff that I'm keeping. So I'm getting some nice tools to build up my collection. Someone commented on a recent video about how I just keep adding tools to my shed. It's not all one way. As I get complete spanner sets and complete tools that I want, whatever I had gets kicked out, goes to the shop, and gets some money back there too. So it is really handy having a second-hand shop. Thanks for watching, guys. Another video over. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.